Hey folks.
Hey Steve, hey Roshin.
Hello.
Oh man, remind me. I will share the presentation that I had with you later today. I forgot about that. It's good to see you here.
Yep. Thank you. Very much
No problem.
appreciated.
Let me take a note here. Struct Gideon form.
Actually, the context is Stefano and I and Patrick is preparing something like similar context for Rust VMM community. So we would like to know how you phrase your abstract for the presentation.
Sure,
Thank you.
no problem at all. I remember. Yeah, yeah. I have it. So I'm just gonna find it and share this with you.
Yep. Thank you.
Man, I'm not sure if I will be able to attend Gideon forum. Like the date is a little bit unfortunate. It clashes with the Formula One GP that happens
Okay.
in Italy at the same time, so the prices are going to be more expensive than normal, unfortunately.
Okay. Noted.
Cool. I guess we'll give a minute for some more folks to join, and then we can get going.
Hello, guys.
And that's just we'll start sharing. Can you see the AC agenda? Cool. Great. Right. I think we've got reasonable quorum of AC members, even if we don't have many other folks. So I guess we can get going. So we can review the actions from last week already, and I don't think I've seen any movement on this PR. Is that right?
Oh shit, yeah, I completely forgot about that one.
Great. No worries.
Let me take a look right now.
Great. And Routing had the update to, or the action to work on the Rust 1851, which is there's a PR in draft. How's that going, Routing? Is it okay? Do you need any help from anyone or?
Yup. Actually, I was on a business travel recently, so I'll try my best to finish it before the end of this week. Sorry for the delaying of it. Um, I haven't encountered any problems as far. Um, I um I will reach out for help if I did.
Cool. Cool. No worries. Yeah, and obviously we'll want to get it in before the next release, but that's not for at least a couple of weeks. So there's no super pressure, and hopefully the travel went well, and at least you had the bonus of seeing Greg. So Cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, we've got a few topics. The first one's quite a big one from me. So we yeah, I guess we've had the discussion before about vulnerability management process not working super well with Launchpad. We hit that again. Greg let the AC know yesterday that he'd received a notification about a vulnerability that had been raised. And when I went into Launchpad and looked at it, turned out it was raised 6 weeks ago, and there was another vulnerability raised 1 week ago. Basically, it's the summary is due to the way our workflows are set up, which we knew was not great. They'd been actually exploited to allow revealing of secrets. So I've responded to both the people who raised it, and they've been helpful and stuff. But basically, I've been going through a series of trying to harden our workflows and lock them down, and been reporting what I've been doing back to the vulnerability raisers. And whilst they wouldn't necessarily say they're 100% mitigated, they have agreed that with the new setup we've got, they're vastly limited in what they can do with the attack. And basically, the attack is related to the pull request targets approach we had, and using injection, and also related a lot because we had lots of permissions set too high level. So I can talk about some of the steps that I've done, and then some of the things that I think are on the to-do list to try and improve this going forward. So we had, because we need to do things like attestation and to write to packages in our workflows, we had a basically full permissions given to the GitHub token. So I straight away locked that down to be read only, which prevented things that obviously caused a load of our CIs to be broken. So I've had to basically create PRs that people have probably seen going forward to try and then fix that. So firstly, I just added the explicit permissions to add write permissions where they were needed to unblock. But when I've looked around, the best practice is not to rely on the GitHub UI setting at all, but is to have a default top level permission on every workflow of basically locks down. So that was the follow-up PR I did, where every workflow just has permission to read the contents of the commits at the top. And then as required, we add a few extra things in, like when we're creating the tarball, we need to write it to GHCR. So that's got write permission as extra in its job and stuff like that. So it's about minimizing the permissions for workflows. And that's the main thing, because with the options we had before, you had write permissions to the repo so they could inject code in. They had full read permissions. Well, they could inject code, which allowed them to get all of the secrets and stuff like that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff around permissions. That's the main thing that I've changed that they're happy with. So this is all to try and explain what I've done and some of the disruption that we might have seen. I've also limited the actions that we can run to be verified actions and allow list. We do use quite a few unverified ones that we've had to add to the allow list, but we probably should review that going forward. I've made a couple of best practice changes by adding extra approval requirements on PRs, so that someone can't do a PR hijacked and inject code, improve it themselves. This shouldn't cause any changes to our flow because we already had 2 approvals required and stuff anyway. But it's an extra setting to turn on. I've talked about the explicit top level. One of the problems, as we mentioned, with revealing secrets is we just have secrets inherit on all of our workflows. So basically every secret we have is passed on to subsequent flows. So this was quite a big change. I'm just validating it at the moment, but I've got the branch which does all of these changes. It means all of our workloads, we're making explicit which secrets they use in like their input section. You have inputs and secrets, and then we obviously need to flow all of them down in the right place. So the top level ones will part like here. See on push, we'll take the secrets from GitHub, flow them down through secrets to reusable workflows. And so, yeah, there's a lot of changes in here. So I'm rerunning all the CI on that now, and yeah, might be finished soonish. I've also been running a scanner called Zizmore, which is about GitHub hardening. So I don't know how I've got my screen sharing set up. Can you see my terminal now?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's just there's a few different settings. So I've just been running it with minimum severity medium, minimum of confidence medium. This has told us about a whole load of the things we've done, we've got issues with. So it complained a lot about the lack of top level sections. It's complaining about secrets unconditionally being inherited because I'm not on the branch that has that. So
For secrets,
yeah.
there are also environments that you can specify. So rather than listing all the secrets that well, it depends on if we can group the secrets into. So at the startup of the GitHub workflow, you can specify the workflow in which environment it runs in, and this environment can specify then secrets. Maybe easier than specifying each of those secrets for each of those workflows. I don't know if it's feasible. I don't know if it's feasible because we may need, but you can specify multiple environments. So I don't know if this would be easier than this way you can group the secrets and do not have to write them out completely and just could use still inherit, but only from environment to environment. Maybe as a optimization here.
Yes, yeah. So I think a lot of the stuff I'm doing is as a non-talented developer is just the naive lock things down quickly approach. I think there's definitely some improvements that we need to do. Yeah, sorry, I was just going to show, with all of the on the branch, with removing inherit secrets, then we've got rid of the 32 mediums we had, which were all related to that, all of the remaining mediums. We've got 3 highs. 2 are basically it doesn't like pull request target in general, and I think there are some ways we can potentially mitigate that. I'll talk about it. There's also a complaint about code injection, so I've got PR to update that in as well. I think for secrets longer term, or I think one of the things we should do is look and see if we can use OIDC for any of these. I don't know if Azure supports it and you can integrate or anything like that, but just meaning we don't need to specify and use all those secrets would be a big improvement as well. For pull request target workflows, I was having a chat with one of the vulnerability raisers about the reason we did it, and we don't want people to be able to override workflows and stuff like that. And he's agreed that he thinks pull request target is probably appropriate for us. But the recommendation is that we either check out code in a separate directory and run the scripts from our main directory, or use sparse checkout to not check out the all of the scripts, just the code. So that's something we can look at. I've already done that one above.
So that approach is good, but man, it gets like a little bit tricky when we're doing changes on those scripts.
Yeah, agreed.
So we have to find the balance between. I understand that we don't do changes on those scripts that often, so maybe a good rule of thumb would be like we do what they recommended, like as the rule of thumb, and then as an exception when we do changes in the script itself, we try to have a second kind of run or action that is like only triggered by the maintainers. That could mitigate a lot the problem, and those changes not being the main ones that we have, it would not overload the maintainers either. But yeah, it's hard, man. These GitHub actions like is a hard thing.
Yeah, or using topic branch for testing those things. But I guess there's the weakness. I think anyone with write access can then take a topic branch, but at least people would be committers. So it's yeah. But yeah, I think there's some investigation to understand, and then there's a few things I've just put as kind of good practice. So one of the helpful things is, as part of some of these issues, I've gone back and rerun scorecard, and we've actually improved, because one of the areas that scorecard was upset about was our token permissions. So after the changes, we are now 10 out of 10 on the token permissions, so our score's gone up. But I think there's some other things that we can definitely do to try and improve that. And I wondered whether this Zismor tool might be something we want to consider running as part of our CI flows, excuse me, to try and detect changes like this. Yeah, like I say, when I first ran it yesterday, I think we had like 100 plus findings in Medium, so it's getting a lot better as part of the hardening stuff I've done. But yeah, keeping that way might be useful as well. Sorry, I don't know if I can find. Yeah, these were all the issues we had yesterday that I've slowly been working through. Yeah, I can't even see a long list. I won't I won't bore you trying to find all of them. But yeah, so we're in a much better situation now, and the vulnerability raises are have been really helpful. But yeah, I guess we knew that there were some issues around pull request target. We've had an item on the CI meeting, Cocoa CI meeting agenda to discuss these for at least 6 months, and never had all the people around to discuss it, but kind of urgency went up. The other thing we obviously need to do is, once we're in a place where we are a bit happier, I think we need to try and rotate the secrets. We should be doing that anyway, but especially given that we know at least 2 people have taken all of the secrets we have. So yeah, we'll need some maintainers, and that's probably a good time that we could look into these environment setups or look at the secrets. Some of our secrets aren't secrets realistically, like well, probably are not secrets, like the Quay username we use, Docker Hub username and stuff like that. So I think those are things we can try and tidy up going onward. So I guess is there any question? Obviously, this is a bit of a big shopping list of stuff that I've either done, am doing, or I think we need to look at. Any questions or comments or suggestions about any of this stuff? I guess
Should we add,
another.
should we add
Sorry,
the
go.
OpenSSF? Should we add the OpenSSF scorecard as a GitHub action to have?
Yes, I think so, and I think
Yeah,
I
I've
think
done it
we.
manually. You've done it manually. Let's.
Yeah, we've got this action to
Okay.
assess it, which I don't know if this is on the laundry list, but probably should be. But yeah, I'll post a link to that in there.
Yeah, and we still need the pic of you wearing the non-talented developer shirt.
Your luck might be in, Zonko, because I'm in fact wearing it today. So if I'll see if I can get my video to work.
Yay!
And
That's fantastic.
the Kata containers on the background. This is
That's perfect.
for people not in the loop. This is unofficial Kata merchandise that our own AC alumnus Fabiano Fidencio can get for a high price and high degree of faff.
Yeah, and the joke behind this is basically at some point in the past we were pissed because a lot of work on the confidential containers was being done by Steve Weiler and myself. And then I just vented off of a sentence that was we cannot have this whole community depending on three non-talented developers. And then I started getting messages from Steven Weiner saying like, what do you mean by non-talented developer?
No, I agreed. I said Viner was talented, but I agreed that I wasn't.
So what I did was I ended up making two t-shirts that says talented software developers. Those are for Steven Weiner, and mine is still a non-talented one. So yeah, we would love if Open Infra would be able to sponsor some of those t-shirts. Right now, those are getting out of my pocket. But yeah, if Open Infra has a few bucks to spend on the project to give something back to the maintainers, mostly in the maintainers month, those few bucks could be well used here. Sorry for plugging this, but yeah, it is what it is. If they don't have, I will keep making those myself. But yeah, go ahead, Ilko.
I just wanted to ask what the expectation is like. Do you all want the maintainers to have these t-shirts? Do you all want this to be like an official Kata Containers merchandise thing? So let me know what the expectations are, because t-shirts are challenging because they are depending on size, and then you need storage. Because we usually don't order one-offs because those are very expensive. So we would probably look into maintain an inventory of it, unless the idea is that this is for a specific group of people. So let's chat about it, is what I'm trying to say in a long way.
Sure, I'm gonna drop you a message, and then I can drop you a message with all the costs that I had and everything, so we can have an idea. Like if it's expensive for the foundation, it's expensive for me as well. Like I have way less money than the foundation has, and way less space to keep those. But yeah, we can
I
have a chat.
understand. Yeah, I understand. I'm not saying I'm against it. It's just it's not fully my decision either. So I get a little really small budget bucket item, and everything else is out of my hands. So yeah, we have limited budget, and I also have limitations myself on it. So
Sure. I'm gonna drop you a message. There is no problem. Thanks
okay,
about this. About it.
thanks.
Moving swiftly on. So yeah. Any any other comments on the workflow hardening? Yeah, I think it's an overdue activity. Obviously in an ideal world, it wouldn't have been shot to the top of my priority list by vulnerability disclosures, but it's and it shows the process still doesn't work very well. And moving to GitHub, which I think is also on the laundry list, something good to do. Okay, one of the other things which is still cropping up on scorecard is, as I mentioned, we in a couple of weeks ago, maybe before the release, I've got all of the highs and quite a lot of the mediums CVEs down from Dependabot. I think we're down from like 135 to 60, some of which are code QLs, to 53. So we've got rid of maybe in the order of 80. But it's a slog and it's time consuming work to do all of the bumps. So we talked about just enabling Dependabot grouping to do a bunch of this for us. So we said we'd look at it after the 3.17 release. So I just wanted to bump this, say it's ready for review so that people can take a look at it. And then hopefully that'll be another scorecard piece where our score can go up a lot. Okay, so Eldrico, I guess the next couple of topics are
Yeah, I wanted to bring up the laundry list. Maybe we could, review it on the AC calls, since we talked about it last week that we will try this idea to see if tracking some of the items that would be higher priority from maintenance perspective for the project to get through. So I did create a GitHub project. I'm not sure if this project template is the best one. It looked like it might be, but you all might have more experience with GitHub projects, so let me know if a different format would be better. I'm not super familiar with all of them. Most of the things I think are already in progress, so I will look into and moving them over. And the question is like, do we want to, like, how do you all feel it would be useful to keep an sort of active track and eye on of and on these things to make sure that they are moving forward? Like, we just talked about the vulnerability management, and I know that we talked about moving that over from Launchpad to GitHub. And I don't think that happened yet because Steve, you were just referring to Launchpad. Is that move still something that the community wants to do?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Because I didn't have access to the CVE that was posted through Launchpad because I'm not on that list.
Mhm.
And nobody's taking care of this list. So yeah, we need to move to GitHub as soon as possible. Yeah.
What is blocking us from doing that?
Time, resources, commitment from my side. I will work on this week.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a priority list at some point. I don't 100% know how you set it, but I don't know if we want to consider that.
I mean, if you can set this
Oh, here we are.
hypothetically, then
Got P0, P2, and P1, I guess. So maybe we could make that P0.
yeah. I mean,
I don't know if it. Oh, here we are. No, it's up. Yeah. I don't know if it shows up in any. Oh, yeah. It's as a tag on here. So
all right. I'll look into that too. I didn't realize you can do that. Nice. Yeah, it's definitely a high priority item, especially with all the Cyber Resilience Act changes and updates in that is coming from Europe. I'm hoping that there will be more people who will be showing up with bug reports and fixes as well. So making sure that the community has a process that is sustainable, that would be great. And
Would it,
also, go ahead.
I was going to say, would it be helpful for me to make workflow hardening sort of epic, i.e., an issue with some of these points as well? Because I think this is flows into that a lot as well as a high priority item.
Yeah, I think that would work. Yeah. Those
Okay.
are more procedural changes. I don't know, for example, if any of the workflow hardening work needs any documentation changes anywhere. But if it does, then it's also something that we should track somewhere because we also talked about documentation updates. Um, and I think those are still a to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may want to document something like best practices, like do not use inherit, use, yeah, but I don't know. Or
I
Yeah, and
like
I guess
it.
that's where if we have some of the scanning in, then that
oh yeah,
should
if you have the scanning,
do
then
it
it should catch it.
automatically.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's push as much of the checks into scanning, then we don't have to document, and the CI pipeline will tell you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, that's an easy documentation. Check the CI pipeline here. So yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, on the to do create pro-con list for Rust versus Go decision,
Yep.
I would frame it differently because we all want to move to the Rust runtime RS. There are a ton of other issues open and discussions that we made for when to move to the Rust runtime. And there were some, sorry, my brain is mush, give me a second, requirements for each of those groups that we defined that need to be fulfilled. Yeah, so there's not really a pro-con list for Rust or Go. We want to all go to Rust. Sooner or later, the question is when we are going to do that. So this is the discussion point, I would say. And
I am personally a little bit confused because I think the last PTG discussion was pointing towards not everyone actually wants to go to the Rust runtime anymore, which is why I have the pro-con list on the to-do item.
really,
So
okay.
there it sounds like that there is a like people are not on the same page about Rust and Go one way or the other. So I don't know if we need a, I don't know, AC vote at least to see where people are with this, because if what you say is accurate, I'm more than happy to update that item to say, you know, set up strategy to move to the Rust runtime. I would be thrilled to do that. It's just my understanding from recent conversations was that not everyone is actually that supportive of that move anymore. I know that there are people who do want to move, and there are people who are either on the side of if we move, we move, if we don't, we don't, or they say that, yeah, we can make the move, but we are not supporting it. So what's others take on this? Because it might only just me who's confused.
So I
Well,
think
go on.
I was going to say, I think my perception is that on the ground, from a technical point of view, we are generally all pro moving to runtime RS. I think the big challenge is that many of the downstream products that we represent, our businesses are not necessarily bought in. So the pro list might be more what's the pros for how can we demonstrate to upline product managers this is the benefits we'll get. I think we had that kind of that discussion around it. So we might say, I think Pavel gave some examples. The code's better, it's easier to write code, add new features and stuff like that. So we want to say what's the reasons to push us there. I guess there might be some detractions as well, but I think the main obstacle is just the time and the commitment. And if the businesses are not bought in to push, like we had some challenges where the Cocoa community said, "Oh, we're not interested in moving," and that's where quite a few of our downstream products are working with. Then that kind of means that there is less time for us to be able to work on it. So yeah, that's my perspective. Is it's not that any members of the AC or committers don't like runtime RS. There's just a matter of how do we fill the gaps and how do we get the time to do those. Don't know if that helps.
I
Okay,
think this sounds.
I'm not clear about. Sorry.
go ahead.
Thanks. The thing that I'm not clear about is basically like what are those business positions actually? I can just say maybe for Red Hat, as Red Hat, we don't care much which runtime, as long as it has the features that we need. So I hope I'm not distorting our position too severely, but like as Red Hat, we aren't really like explicitly pro or against one runtime or the other. It's basically it just has to do what we rely on, and that's it. But I'm not necessarily clear on what other businesses' perspective is precisely.
Just a quick follow-up question back to you. So you're saying that if the community decides that, let's say from next Monday, the priority is to finish the Rust runtime and move over, then you and Red Hat are good to work on that. So kind of there
Yep.
needs to be a decision that this is where the community is going, and as far as Red Hat is concerned, for example, you're good to go. Is that a correct interpretation of what you were saying?
Yeah, basically. I mean, in practice, the Rust runtime, for instance, doesn't have a finished implementation or support of the remote hypervisor. So that at this point would probably block Red Hat's approval as an organization. I mean, I'm now speaking for Red Hat or trying to do it, trying to do my best. My personal position is completely different. So things like a full support of the remote hypervisor would be necessary for Red Hat to be bought in fully.
And I assume they would not really like you to work on that to finish it.
Well,
Or you don't.
I mean, this depends. Like if we as a community decide to switch to the Rust runtime in 3 months and stop maintaining the Go runtime mid next year, then I would have to work on the Rust runtime, obviously. And at that point, it would be in Red Hat's interest for me to work on it.
Okay. Thank you. That's good perspective. Thank you.
Yeah, so like for now, I I'm basically only supposed to work on the restaurant time like 50% of the time. But that's because uh well the community hasn't decided to go with the restaurant time. It continues to go with the go run time. And due to this, there doesn't seem to be a lot of like business rationale for having me to work on the restaurant time more. Well, once this changes, um, like my time allotment uh, would likely change as well.
Okay. That's good information. So it sounds like that what you need to justify your work is, at least as a big first step, is a clear community decision that this is what we are doing and this is the timeline that we are aiming for.
Yes, precisely. And I
Okay.
mean, Red Hat is an upstream first company, and we are explicitly allowed to to push in upstream communities for decisions that are good for the communities, even if they are not necessarily good for Red Hat's business interests. But I don't think I need to do this at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I have some leeway, but I just would like to. I mean, uh, without a broader community, commitment to switch over to the restaurant time, like my personal positions don't achieve much anyway.
I understand. So I think having a clear decision that is clear to everyone is important in general, because otherwise it's a split brain kind of scenario that some people are maintaining Go, some people are working on Rust, and then Rust never catches up to Go, and then we just keep being in this little bit of a catch-22 situation forever-ish. So back to kind of your question of where everybody else's mind is, and your company's minds are, like, what is missing to make the decision and make the commitment?
Hi, Irtical. This is Horace.
Hi, Horace.
Um, hi, and everyone. I was following the other conversation, and I just happened to talk to the end group, Kata developers today, so I can share something, in terms of also to follow up the input from the Red Hat friend. So for now, I understand what I understand from the Rust version development is it is going to support all of the current hypervisors at this moment. So they may have a built-in option for the Rust version for efficiency, but the Rust version will definitely support all of the current existing hypervisors, and it could be configured by a certain usage. That is the one. And the other one is, for now, the Rust version, if it will be added, the Rust version of runtime, is the Go version will still be maintained in a legacy way. Like the Go version will still be there and can be used, but the hope is, like, with the Kata versions moving forward, with the new releases, the new features, and new enhancement may be happened or developed in the Rust version. So that was the plan. And for the Rust version, it definitely has the plan to do the downgrade compatibility. That's what I learned. I could double check on that, but I think for the rest version, it doesn't look like if the whole upstream switch to the Rust and then the Go version will not work anymore, or it will not be maintained anymore. It just will be living there as supporting the old version, or it will be archived once the Rust version is fully functional with support all of the existing legacy support. That's what I understand. And in terms of the business positions, I could talk to the current several of the big users of Kata containers and find out what the Rust version means to them. For example, like the current Ant Group and Alibaba. So I can find that out and maybe share with the AC meeting with AC members and the community. Yeah.
Thanks, Horace. And if anyone doesn't know Horace, Horace is working for the Open Infra Foundation, and he's our community manager in China, and keeps in touch with our communities and ecosystem in that region.
Thank you.
I don't know. Thanks, Horace. I don't know if anyone has any questions or thoughts to what Horace just shared.
No, I think that makes sense. I think the plan matches what we've talked about. Yeah, I think the big question will be what's Ant and Ali. I know that other people on the call will obviously know more than me, but I think they tend to be ahead of us with their downstream work as it is. So, but yeah, it would be good to understand if they have any like dates in mind or anything like that where they'd like to see things move.
Okay. For that, I'm able to work with them and collect those information or data and maybe share it with Irtico or share with the community. Yeah.
Yep, that sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Horace. So besides that input, what else do you all and the AC needs to have a decision and have a strategy how to move forward, so we get out of this stage of this is a desire but we are not really moving closer to it, and then people get frustrated and confused and
Looks like another CCV0 situation that we have here.
yes, and I personally would like to figure out how to get out of it.
Well, the very first thing to accomplish is feature parity with the Go runtime. If confidential containers are not working properly, if peer pods are not working properly, if the GPU support is not there properly, then most of the users will not move. If we are not properly supporting all the QEMU stuff, then also users won't move. But then again, we may need to have a hard stop on saying new features only in runtime RS and bug fixes only in Go runtime. We had these discussions before. The question is how we are going to make this move and if everybody is agreeing to that. I thought we were with all the other discussions that we had in the past, but now hearing you that there are complaints that or no willingness to move to runtime RS creates more churn here. But maybe as a community upstream, we can make the move and then downstream just needs to adapt. I mean, we cannot be, again, stop. The same story with the Rust bumping, right? We cannot, for all the major customers that we have, if runtime RS is the move that we need to make, then we need to make this move. We need to walk the walk.
Yeah, but I think it's not just downstream. I think you captured the point. We said we've got to close feature parity and then we can switch. but we've been talking about that for 18 months, and I'm guilty, as is everyone, apart from a few people, the likes of Pavel. We haven't been closing the gap, and Alex and people like that who are doing it. We're not closing the gap fast enough. And like I say, that's where the internal product management would be helpful. Like Pavel said, if we had somebody who said, right, and maybe it's circular, maybe we need to do something as an upstream which will trigger them to get us to do work on it or something. But unless I have a lot of support from product management to say, yes, runtime RS is what we're using, go and spend as much time as you can on that, then at the moment the problem is we're still using the Go runtime, so there's not a huge incentive for them to tell me to work on runtime RS, so those
Right.
gaps don't get closed. I guess that's the problem we've got. We need feature parity 100%, but we're not getting there very quick. And that's us for most of the community. There are some key, really great people who are helping us. Most of the community is not pushing that forward. And from a personal point of view, it's not because I don't like runtime RS, it's just not top of my priority list.
Steve, do you think that like having a decision and the time frame that the community upstream is set to prioritize that would help you, just like Pavel at Red Hat, to say that this is where the community is going with or without me. So if this is the direction that the community is taking, then I need to shift some of my priorities over to this and that part and spin the conversation that way. Do you think that would be helpful to be able to say to product management that no matter what, the community is moving this direction, so we should get on that train so we don't get left behind over time?
So, as an IBMer, I will do whatever Red Hat say. My product management will look to Red Hat. So
Okay.
it's basically the same that Pavel mentioned. That will be if it's Red Hat's strategic direction to move to runtime RS, then my it is not all of IBM. I won't speak for all of them. There's quite a few different projects at IBM working on Kata, but my personal project is aligned with Red Hat.
Okay. Paula,
So
go ahead. I see you have your hands up or hand up.
Thanks. This might be just my personal perspective, but in practical terms, I think what would help immensely would be in terms of the feature parity. I personally don't know what's missing. So I mentioned the remote hypervisor support that's missing. That's kind of well, kind of. It's actually important to Red Hat, but I think there are other things, and I think it would really help if we as a community could basically um, create or update one of the existing lists so that we actually know what's missing at this point, and then maybe have a discussion like who does what, because I mean I might well finish the run remote hypervisor support, and maybe someone else could fill in some of the rest. And then if we basically coordinate like this and make sure that whoever contributes gets properly supported by reviews. You know, I'm basically Alex is doing a lot of great work, and I'm trying to support him doing reviews. So if we do that, we could get the feature parity with time. I don't know how much time, because I don't know the list of things that are missing, but I think without an like intentional and coordinated effort, I think reaching the feature parity would be hard. I think we just need to focus on it. And then when we get there, we can consider switching.
I like that direction in general, and I think Steve is looking for that parody feature parody list, which is documented somewhere. We do have a table or something in one of the issues or somewhere. But oh, we only have 4 minutes left. I'm sorry, I didn't want to rabbit hole on this for so long, but it is a great forward-looking discussion, so I'm happy that we had it. I will adjust the I think it was a GitHub issue on the laundry list and basically look into how to reframe it to rather build a strategy how to get to the Rust runtime. Because I haven't heard objections against it, and it sounds like that there are at least a few people and companies who just need the community to say that this is a decision, this is where we are going, and then figuring out a rough time frame, and then they can go and execute the plan. And it just sounds like that we need the plan and we need the strategy to build up the policies to stick to it and say that, I don't know, if someone implements a new thing, they need to implement it either both or in the Rust runtime at one point, something along these lines, just to make sure that we are not cutting the tree under us and the tree branch under us. It's a thing we say in Hungary. I don't know what the English version of it is, but that we are not working against ourselves over time. So I will rework those things and will catch up with you all in terms of what else is needed. So it's clear for companies and everyone in the community where we are all going, and then we can figure out how to get there a little more efficiently than in the past 18 or so months.
Yep.
Steve, can you add this link to the Etherpad or somewhere where I can pick it up, and then I will add it to everywhere?
I added it under the
Oh,
how to
awesome.
move
Yeah, I see
forward
it. Thank you.
section there.
Cool. Thank you.
I guess we
Okay,
got
I will give you 2 minutes for the last topic. Sorry.
That's probably all I need. Just when I've been, well, Zonko and Fabiano and I had some discussion about where we store Kata deploy when we were talking about pushing Helm charts and stuff like that. We have this Docker Hub account, which is at release time, we push the Kata deploy image there, but it's a mirror of Quay, and we also have GHCR, which I think is one of our primary ones. So I was trying to understand, in the spirit of lean and mean, does anyone actually use the Docker Hub version, or is that an easy secret? As Fabiano may have leaked in the chat, we don't know what the password is for this, so we can't do any manual changing or rotating or anything like that. So I'm trying to work out, do we just sack it off and say we don't understand that anyone's using it, or is anyone aware of it being used?
If it's used heavily, then somebody would have complained about the rate limitation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since it's only used sporadically, I would say just kill it.
We've had 500,000 plus downloads apparently, but who knows if that's all the CI or what. But
yeah,
so maybe something to poll in Slack, and then we can look at removing it.
Mm. I mean, Docker in general, they are not the friendliest to open source projects.
Exactly.
Like if the rate limit is ever an issue, I did set up the open source program for another project, but Docker is really hard to work with.
Yeah.
So if you all already have alternatives and it's just a mirror, then if anyone comes and complains that this went away, then we can already point them to the place that is the original of.
Yeah, we don't use any of it ourselves because of the rate limiting issues. So, but cool, thank you. Yeah, I'll create Slack. I appreciate we don't have the whole community here. Yeah, and apologies we've overrun, but we had some good discussions, and yeah, we'll have to think back on them, particularly runtime RS, probably like next week to keep the momentum going on that.
This was great. Thank you all.
Cheers, folks. Speak to you
See you
soon.
on the Coco call.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.